Going on YouTube? I'm your host, the Gym Slasher, aka CJ, back at it again. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with me, and I appreciate that. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, man. Hype me up. Give me all that love, man, and I'll give it right back. Without further ado, we're going to get right into it. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, is the window closed for them? This is kind of a follow-up from our Josh Allen video that we did about a week ago with Josh Allen, and as we all know now, Baltimore, obviously with John Harbaugh being fired, and then Coach McDermott being fired and let go. We're seeing these two great quarterbacks. I call them career twins. I call them career football twins. Their careers are very similar in terms of how they started, where they're at, their individual accolades, their team accolades in terms of wins and playoff appearances, and the expectations for them to win divisions and get over the proverbial hump. For both of those two quarterbacks, unfortunately, they had Mahomes in their way, and each of them can say that Mahomes was the ones who came out victorious. Joe Burrow is that only quarterback that can say, no, I beat Patrick Mahomes in his backyard and went to the Super Bowl with a chance to win the Super Bowl with that. For Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, obviously you see their trajectory and how they have been over their tenure in their respective franchises. I think they're great quarterbacks. I think they're dynamic. I think they're skillful. They're leaders. Their team gravitates to them. They're leaders of their franchises in terms of Buffalo believing all in Josh Allen, and Baltimore Ravens believing all in the city of Baltimore believing in Lamar Jackson. With that being said, being around the NFL, playing and with players and teammates and people that I've known and training and all that, and understanding how the professional level NFL is, you don't have a wide range of time to be accomplished, to win. Patrick Mahomes made it look easy. Like I've said before, Brady, those guys have made it look easy in terms of winning and you getting there to the Super Bowl. Those are rare airs. That is not the common thing. Like I said before, when you have an opportunity, you have to seize that moment. I'm questioning, is it over for them in terms of getting to the Super Bowl? Because now you're looking at the AFC Championship game right now, and you have two young quarterbacks. And like I said, Bo Nix is injured. He's technically not there. But moving forward in his career, he's going to be prevalent in terms of the process of Denver making it to the championships and playoff runs and stuff. Joe Burrow is still going to have a lot to say. Trevor Lawrence still has a lot to say. How the playoffs, how next the upcoming seasons will look. It is now getting the depth of quarterback in the AFC is getting that much more difficult. It's getting that much more competitive. The margin for error is now smaller. Before, you had Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. You can't ignore now putting Drake May in that Drake May name in that. You can't ignore not putting Trevor Lawrence. You got to put Trevor Lawrence in that. You got to put Bo Nix in that. These are just that next tier of quarterbacks, and who's to say, from the Titans and Cam Ward and some of these other young come-ins is going to be ready to make some noise in the next 3 to 5 years too. Shedeur Sanders, and you got those quarterbacks there as well. That has an opportunity to push it. Be that as it may, now where does Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, where do they sit at when you're talking about that next level? Can they get there? Well, I don't believe their window is closed. Okay. I don't think the time of it is closed just yet. It is, however, I can't ignore that that door is closing. It is closing. At first, it used to be wide open. The world was their oysters. But like anything in a career, and you're playing as an athlete, just as you as an individual, your athletics, it has a expiration date. As you as a franchise with a quarterback, it has an expiration date. You just got to make sure you have the right things in place to elongate or to stretch that expiration date out as long as you can. When you look at like Troy Aikmans of the world, where they had those dynasties and things, they just had the right players and the personnel and the ownership to have with the Michael Irvins of the world, the Jay Novaceks of the world, Emmitt Smiths, Nate Newtons, Larry Allens, so forth, with Troy Aikman and all that. Then you know, with Joe Montana, Steve Young. Then you go into the newer, you know, with Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. You see the linemen and what has to be done. They have made it more difficult for themselves to get out of the AFC. I have questions on Patrick Mahomes and his health in terms of and what the Chiefs personnel and can they regroup, but they're gonna have a lot to say on that. But I think like anything else, it's a young man's game. And do I believe in who the Patriots may hire, excuse me, not the Patriots, the Baltimore Ravens, who they're hired to line Lamar Jackson up to that success is going to be very interesting. Josh Allen and what coach they select for Josh Allen and the offensive coordinator and that whole line is going to be very interesting. I'm I'm just leaning on their skill set. I'm leaning on what the body of work they have. It's hard to just completely discount them that they can't figure this thing out. But I believe that they may have that one, two more runs until I can then close the door on them because the NFL is emotionless. It just moves on to the next. It doesn't care about how great you once were. I mean, you look at one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, and I've used him as an example before, in Aaron Rodgers. He's one of the greats. He only has one title for his name. He's still with Pittsburgh, and he may have him now. Just bringing him up, he's still playing, and he's in Pittsburgh. He's in Lamar Jackson's backyard in terms of playing him twice a year. So he's not playing just to just hang out with the guys. He genuinely believes he can win a Super Bowl. So you still have this competitiveness, and they're kind of like that now. They're kind of like the middle child of the NFL, of the AFC in terms of quarterbacks. They're not the big brother, but they're not little brother. They're just sitting right in that middle, and they could potentially get overlooked. I'm willing to give them a little bit that I think that each game, and my fault for not mentioning Justin Herbert from the Chargers. That's another young gun that has a lot to say. So when you start to look at why it's valid for some people to believe, and I'm sure, and I want y'all to comment and see, let me know what y'all think. But I'm not against people saying, yeah, I think it's a wrap on both of them. I can see people making an argument for Lamar Jackson. I can see people making an argument for Josh Allen, saying it just on them as individuals and not collectively. I give them just a small, because I give them still that opening, because I don't think anybody in the AFC is that much farther ahead than them. For that reason, I don't, even with Kansas City, they're vulnerable. They were vulnerable all season long. I don't see that changing. I don't see any team in the AFC that's just leaps and bounds. It's just a play here, a play there. I mean, all intents and purposes, Jacksonville had a chance to get Buffalo out of there before that game. So outside of the Patriots just making easy work of Houston, in terms of C.J. Stroud and his work that he needs to put in, he definitely got some work to do. But you see how close it is, and that's why I'm not closing the door on them, because they're just a player or two away, a decision here and there away from going to the Super Bowl. They just need one run. But a lot of, in terms of where they sit at in a pantheon of all-time great quarterbacks, is definitely going to be on their appearances or lack thereof in a Super Bowl. And for that, they have some work to do, and they have to have that sense of urgency that there is no tomorrow. I don't have all my rest of my career. If their career is peaking here, it's almost at that peak and coming down. That doesn't mean that they're diminished in their talent. It's just they're at such a high rate that even as they begin to come down, they're still better than most quarterbacks. I don't see that per se. I think they still got some trajectory still going up. But again, they have some work to do, and they don't have a whole lot of time to do it in terms of their football careers. So with that being said, what do you guys think? Do you guys think they got a little bit more time? Do you think that the window is closed for them? It's time to move on? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I appreciate you guys for watching this. And until next time, peace.